This is my first challenge team and it's been amazing.
If I set that many alarms, I know which one's the last one. Who cares?
It makes it so much more pleasant than like an iPhone just like going off in your ear.
There's 50,000 people our age who are suffering with the exact same issues.
Austin, maybe you could start us out.
Yeah, I have a lot going on work-wise, so I can't always get those 8 hours, but I just want something consistent. Research-wise, there's this new phenomenon people are identifying where a lot of people who feel like they don't have a lot of control around what they're doing day to day will take, even if they're super, super tired, up until the last minute before they like pass out. If they're already in bed, they'll just be on their phone or whatever else because they feel like that's the only time they have free time. And so they want to hang on to that last little bit because if you go to sleep, you just have to go to work again in the next morning. I want to find ways to curb that or just be okay with like making sure I have free time in other ways than like only right before I'm going to bed.
That resonates with me a lot, actually.
I came across this guy named Sean Stevenson. He had this disease. His backbone was the age of the 80-year-old. He kind of changed all of that through digging deeper and asking the right questions, and now he's healthy. I was just astonished by like the power of the mind, and like if we really wanted to change something about our lives, we could.
Probably my favorite podcast of all time, by the way. Sleep is just something I've strangely been very passionate about for a few years now. Health and wellness is such an important part of my life. Like I know I recommended Thomas's book right here, but it's called Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker, which is like such a good book. It breaks down the science, and for some strange reason, I'm like really interested. Experts I wrote down are Matthew Walker, who wrote that book, Sean Stevenson, Max, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but it's like Lugavare or something. But I just read this book by him. It's called The Genius Life. And it was honestly straight up life-changing. I think that would be so badass just to be able to wake up at the time I want to without using an alarm clock. Your alarm will wake you up when your body's producing a peak amount of melatonin, which then you wake up and you feel super groggy. If you wake up naturally on your own, you're gonna naturally wake up so you feel more energetic right off the bat.
There's my Amazon order. I'm hyped to read that book.
Nice, man.
Matthew Walker said alarm set for 7 and you naturally wake up at 6:58. It's like you're subconsciously thinking about that your entire time that you're sleeping, and like your body just like has that schedule just like ready to go. I've been reading Why We Sleep. Once your body like gets that rhythm down and they realize when it's supposed to shut down and when it's supposed to wake up, that's when like real growth happens.
You guys will be learning about these later, but these are blue light blocking glasses, and if you want to get good sleep, you should all be wearing them right now.
I think Eric just puts the glasses on, and that's really where all the smarts come from. Yeah, it's just the glasses. I mean,
Eric's got a point. Y'all need to invest in these. You know, I got 3 screens in front of me all day and I get some pretty bad headaches and can't sleep at night. But our whole days, I feel like, are kind of built within routines. And the one thing that's not really set in my life is like when I go to bed. I graduated with a degree in data analytics. I think one thing that's going to speak to me is kind of doing more research on, you know, the analysis of sleep patterns.
sometimes when I keep a pretty consistent schedule, I still just randomly will wake up some days and just not feel rested. I'm curious about the whole 90-minute REM cycles and all that stuff. I don't know if that's a factor or what it might be, but for me, it's just kind of random. I've been recently hitting snooze on my alarm. I had a thing set up
Recently.
Oh yeah, Michael always gets pissed. Hit snooze and then he hears it. But I was doing good for a while. I was doing good for a couple months. I had a stick set up. I would lose money if I hit snooze, but even then I would just be like pissed. Sometimes I really want to snooze. All right, so I say we hop into some team goals.
What Tyler said, like to have that nightly routine.
I think morning routines are also especially important. Something to do to make you get out of bed.
There's actual science behind exercising early in the morning, and then also more importantly, exposing yourself to daylight directly improves your sleep.
We all got to hit at least 7 a night average. There might be a night where we get 5, there might be a night where we get 6, but there might be a night where we get 9.
If you have an iPhone, you can set it on night mode. Helps you sleep a lot better.
I've tried night mode, but I'd even go a step further and say black and white mode so that way you get bored.
Charging your phone, that temptation is just too much. Like if it's right next to you, you might be strong for like 2 days after your sleep challenge team, but like you're going to go back.
You can tell I'm addicted because this is the reason I have 10-foot cables.
Do we all have a way to track our sleep?
It's kind of funneled through your phone. You scroll to the top of the alarms on your phone. There's only on the latest version, but you have like the sleep wake up thing at the top. And then if you hit change, then it pulls up this thing and you can like change how many hours.
Did not know that.
Getting a non-phone alarm clock might be something I want to try.
There was something that I read in Why We Sleep that I don't know if I fully agree with, but it was saying that if you need coffee within the first 2 hours of your morning, or you feel that you can go back to bed by 10 or 11 a.m., that you're not getting enough sleep.
Yeah, I feel like I purposefully didn't remember that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like in terms of like experts to reach out to, I definitely want to reach out to the Walker guy, author of Why We Sleep.
I think Sean Stevenson would be number one. The Model Health Show, it's the number one health and wellness podcast in the world now, I think. He probably has the most famous book about sleep. It's called Sleep Smarter. I really enjoy using my Amazon Alexa as alarm clock. I have it set up to my lights. My lights can change color. In the morning, like the alarm will go off, my lights will turn on blue. And I can like tell it to play like a certain song and stuff. It makes it so much more pleasant than like an iPhone just like going off in your ear and you just want to punch a hole in the wall.
I guess now Apple Watch has like competition on activity. I wish you like eat on sleep.
I don't even know if they thought of that. You should send them an email.
Tim Ferriss has a YouTube video about his nighttime routine, and it just makes you feel like a peasant. Like he like has this tea concoction, then he has like his own spa in his basement where he gets in like the sauna, and like it was just fun to watch. But it's like good to show you the importance of a nighttime routine.
And I'm not wanting to like sit at the computer and do another hour of research at night. I've been totally unsuccessful when I try and do that. The only thing that's been working for me with this challenge team so far is just listening to podcasts.
How about I send one fact a day about sleep research and someone to hold me accountable to actually getting that research done?
Yeah, have you seen that meme on Twitter that's like that lady on the subway reading the book about like how to sleep well? She's just like knocked out.
Don't
Is
worry about
anybody
it.
using like a iPhone app to track sleep and stuff?
I have in the past used an app called Sleep Cycle. It tracks your sleep and it tries to wake you up when you're in your shallowest level of sleep. So that way it's like you feel more energized when you wake up. But the only downside is it does that by tracking your breathing. So you have to have your phone close to like your head.
I use an app called Sleep Science, which works pretty good because it shows you like graphs over time.
For me, being in a relationship, it's definitely hard to like just at 10 p.m. be like, all right, bye. So like I've really been working on like trying to properly communicate and then making sure that I set aside time to talk to my girlfriend before 10 p.m. And then waking up before my alarm, I actually was successful this morning. Waking up before your alarm goes off sounds insane, but like people do it.
Dude, I'm the only one who ever has done that in the world. Like, I feel like I woke up 2 minutes before, like, dang, get on my level.
I need to do more research about how I could practice that more often. Have a night routine and I'm like sitting there journaling before I go to bed, literally writing like tomorrow morning I will wake up before my alarm goes off at 7 a.m. So I'm like trying to like get that into my brain while I'm sleeping. Normally at some point before my alarm goes off, I'm in that stage where I'm like half awake. So I feel like I just need to start capitalize on like forcing myself just to get up then. I think everyone here should go listen to Sean Stevenson's 3-part series on sleep that Thomas put on his story.
Yeah.
He gives like 21 tips on how to get better sleep. And I don't even have to do it a lot, but just routinely exposing myself to some of this, maybe opening up some of my old books, changes my mindset so much and like forces me to prioritize sleep. It's like so much time goes by that I forget how valuable it is. And it just takes like one sentence, one paragraph, or like even like 5 minutes of a podcast just to remind me how undervalued sleep is.
We are what we consume. And if you're filling your ears with something that's not what you really want to be, then that's what you're going to become. And that's how you're going to feel. And that's how you're going to act. And making sure that like the rotation of what I'm listening to lines up with where I want my life to be going at that time.
When you think about all of these like tips and tricks on how to get better sleep, it's essentially like us trying to get as close back to like our hunter-gatherer roots, like one with nature, like trying to go to bed and limit screen time. And I don't know, I just really like looking at it that way. I don't know like exact statistics off the top of my head, but I know sleep alone is absolutely ridiculous. Like if you get poor sleep, the amount of diseases that you're exposed to, which is absolutely nuts. It's just a matter of educating yourself and trying to make the right decisions and then not driving yourself insane.
Kind of curious as to like how much is it due to kind of like the new modern wave of like the less sleep the better. Oh, I got 4 hours of sleep last night. I worked till 11 p.m. and then I woke up at 5 a.m. and I started grinding. Like, what'd you do? It's like I slept 8 hours. Like, this kid's loafing. in the long term, that 8+ hours is kind of proven to be the saving grace, I think.
There's this toxic culture of you have to hustle harder and like you have to sacrifice your parts of your life, and that includes sleep, quality time with yourself and your family. But I think it's time that we redefine what being successful actually means. Success is very subjective, and for different people, success means different things. How I look at success is I want to live a balanced life. At the same time, I want to get to a place where, you know, I'm financially independent, equipped with the right skill set and like a vision to help other people as well.
Hey, y'all, I think I might finally really like give meditation a try.
Dude, a
Right?
meditation that I've been doing every morning of 2021 that I absolutely love is by Wim Hof. It's like a breathing training kind of with the meditation. For me, it's kind of hard just to like sit down and like clear my thoughts. But to, like do this breathing exercise, and then while you're sitting there holding your breath, for some reason like it's easier to clear your mind. You almost get like a high off of oxygen.
So when I started doing meditation, everybody says like do that 10 to 15 minutes. I'm an impatient fucking dude, honestly. And so I started off with 5. It takes time, just like everything. It takes a little bit of practice. So I honestly don't get discouraged if you're not finding the same results that you find online.
Yeah, I use this app called My Life. You can put in like how you're feeling before the meditation and after the meditation.
Definitely, I'll check out that app.
I'm a crazy person with my amount of alarms that I set for myself every morning. I already know by doing that, if I set that many alarms, I'm immediately setting myself up to just be like, all right, I know which one's the last one. Who cares? So want to bring that down to 2. And that's probably the one I'm most excited about.
I can just go over there, stand up, and just.
Sure, that works. If you're down.
I'm gonna look at more data about like the habits that affect sleep, since I did data on like what sleep can cause for you, and then wake up with a more positive attitude, because you know everybody kind of hates their life when you wake up like that early and you're still tired, but you have commitments. So
You said you had some success with trying to wake up before the alarm. Like, what sort of tricks have you found so far?
I think I'm just so scared for missing my alarm that I just wake up before it. Maybe that's why I'm lacking some deep quality sleep.
There's this guy that I read about who found a trick to help him not hit the snooze button. He like had a scheduled tweet on his Twitter account that would go out every day at like 7, 10 a.m. And it said, hey, here's my Bitcoin wallet or whatever, take all my money. And it gave people the QR code to like take all of his money. It was like thousands of dollars out of his Bitcoin account. Eventually he got to the point where it was like affecting his sleep because he got so scared that he was gonna, he's gonna sleep through his alarm or something. He had to stop doing it because it was just like freaking him out too much and ruining his sleep. It's just hard to find that balance sometimes. Like Michael, you know me with the sticks. Like if you guys don't know the app Stick. It's this app where you can sign up and then you can create commitments. Like I can say I commit to going to the gym every day. And then if I don't go to the gym every day, then my credit card is automatically billed like $100 or however much I set. And you can have that money go to a charity. You can have it go to your friend. Like I have some set up with Michael. You can have it go to an anti-charity. Anyway, you can have it go to all sorts of different places or give it to the app. I set up all sorts of sticks that are like my routines to make sure that I actually do things. They're like things you don't really want to do in the moment, but things you know you should be doing. Check this out, guys. So look at this little sleep stages graph, right? You see like how much of it happens in the last like hour? Like let's say you get 6 hours instead of 8 hours, right? That's only a 25% decrease. But what he's trying to say is actually like, hey, if you go below that acceptable amount of like 7 or 8 hours, it's like a exponential decrease. Like every minute that you stay up and don't go to bed, well, then you're losing effectively like half of your good sleep time.
I think one thing I'm gonna try at the end of each week, your phone tells you, you spend 15% more time on your phone this week than last week. I think I'm gonna shoot to like get that lower. If I'm like this reliant on my phone now, when technology gets even better, it's like we get even older, it's just gonna get worse.
Yeah.
Which means my sleep is just gonna get worse.
We're here for our final meeting of the Better Sleep Challenge team. With these finales for challenge teams, shouldn't we be like not just reflecting on what we've learned, but also like teaching it in a way, or putting ourselves in that mindset a little bit?
That's one of my favorite quotes though, is you don't know something well enough until you're able to like explain it or teach it to somebody else.
I'm gonna give that a shot. If anybody else wants to, feel free. But the biggest thing I want to spend the most amount of time on is just what's our ongoing system of accountability? Like how are we going to make sure this isn't just a 2-week thing? We've all been focusing on the sleep like so much the last 2 weeks, and it would be really easy to then go back to not focusing on it anymore. Cool, y'all. Our average is 7.9. Very proud of this team. That's awesome. I think like right around 8 hours is a really solid average sleep for us to be giving ourselves every night. It's just like, hey, I have to get 7 hours, 45 minutes. Like it's just It's not negotiable. The other things are negotiable, that one's not. That's been just a better mindset, I think. And the world hasn't fallen apart because I got, 30 minutes less to work or whatever.
I think my biggest takeaway is like honestly how kind of easy it is to get 8 hours.
If you want to focus on something, you want to get better on it, just try and learn a little bit about it every day. That's way transcending just sleep. It's just like, hey, anything I want to focus on in my life, set up some sort of system where I'm going to learn a little bit about it every day. So let's hop into talking about the whole challenge team as a whole.
The best thing that it's taught me is the quote that you become the content that you consume. And we're in this era in time where we have like access to just different forms of content at our fingertips. And if you like look around at what different people our age are watching, like they're binge watching Netflix shows or just watching like YouTube channels that are like, I do the same thing myself. I'm not saying it's like bad. It has its time and place. Going back and exposing myself to certain anecdotes from books or seeing or listening to parts of podcasts or seeing parts of or videos on YouTube about sleep, it not only like reteaches me those things, but it changes my mindset to start prioritizing that. And then prioritizing sleep, obviously, like we've talked about, snowballs into prioritizing so many other important things. I've been watching like an impact theory podcast or going back and listening to a Sean Stevenson podcast about sleep. And that's just been absolutely huge to force myself to absorb these pieces of content. It can even be like super short, like 30 seconds or a minute. So I think that's been the biggest benefit for me by far.
This is my first experience doing a challenge team, and it's been amazing. I also like focusing on wellness, but I feel like I haven't focused on sleep until now. Something that I've learned is that sunlight really wakes me up, and I didn't realize how refreshing it really is to just step outside, and it really changes up my mood. If I'm feeling a little like sleepy or like stressed out about the day, it's really nice. And putting away my device before bed, I think that'll be a game changer going forward. And even being able to pass that down to my friends or my family, sharing what I'm doing and setting that sort of example so that they can do the same thing. If anything that I've learned, it's one thing. Words really don't teach. Experiences does, and examples do.
It just proves a lot too. Like throughout the last 2 weeks, like you prove that that there's similar like-minded individuals who suffer the exact same problem. I guarantee you there's 50,000 people our age who are suffering with the exact same issues, and we're the 5 that are willing to talk about it. Just to share what you're struggling with, and not even if it's sleep or whatever it is, like we've all shared other problems besides sleep.
I did enjoy what Eric said. Like I mentioned, you become the content you consume. I found myself, reading a lot more about sleep, and as it pertains to that quote, I've been incorporating a lot of it, kind of using those facts to become a little more uncomfortable during my day, not getting as much done at night after work, so I can get that sleep, which, then again helps me be more productive and wake up the next morning.
All right, everybody, you guys have been awesome.
Dude, boys.